Hello and welcome to another video from me, Rough Swordsman, Wargamer. It's another open the book of a brand new naval war game concerning pirates, and it is Dreaded Flags, Naval Conflict in the Age of Piracy 1568 to 1720, designed by, and apologies for the pronunciation, Wouter Schoutteten, in association with his company Royals and Rovers, and available on Amazon. So what's all this about? In Dreaded Flags, players refight historical naval conflicts between small fleets in the Age of Piracy. Players take command of one or more ships in battles between privateers, pirates and/or pirate hunters. Dreaded Flags balances historical accuracy with straightforward and intuitive gameplay. The various types of fire used in the game reflect the risky and perilous nature of the combat. Other era-specific factors are also taken into account. You will discover firsthand the effects of a good captain and a motivated crew. This book contains everything you need to play the game: the rules, 8 scenarios, maps, charts, ships, log pages, and all necessary counters. You only need 5 6-sided dice, optionally 2 extra coloured dice, and a pen per player at home. The book contains 8 scenarios. Depending on the scenario, the game is played solitaire. There are 2 dedicated scenarios, and most others are very suitable for 2-handed play or with 2 or 3 players. Most scenarios can be played in one sitting, with playtime ranging from 30 minutes up to about 3 hours. Scenarios have a complexity rating ranging from easy to hard. Now, hoist the flag and ready the guns. It's game time. So, as just mentioned, 1 to 3 players, 30 minutes to 3 hours playtime, and the complexity light medium. These, I understand, are the actual counters, but if you don't want to mutilate your book, there's a way around that. Okay, let's have a quick look through Dreaded Flags. Little bit of flavor text here. A note from the designer thanking you for buying Dreaded Flags, and I have to thank Votive for sending me this review copy, so thank you very much. How to use this book. This sends shivers down my spine because carefully cut the spine from the... No. If you don't want to do that, all the counters, the maps, and the ship's logs are on BGG for you to download and print off without damaging the book. And I'll leave a link for those in the description. Table of contents, 30 pages of rules, but as you'll see, it's a nice sort of easy to read font, lots of pictures. So the first part is telling you about the ship's log, and every ship that's is used in a scenario has its own log. And then the wind attitudes, how that all works, and the sort of speed the ships can move depending on which way the wind is blowing. And the weather. So, setting up a game. And as you can see, it's only a couple or a handful of ships. And the sequence of play. So we have a planning phase where you have to plan what you're going to do, and you and your opponent perform those simultaneously. Then it's the movement phase, any ungrappling or grappling that occurs. Combat phase, we've got cannon fire, musket fire, and boarding actions. And then we're into the housekeeping phase, where you can reload your guns, attempt repairs, any refloats by lightening your ship if it's gone aground, and any wind changes. And as it says here, we're now going to see all these in more detail. So here's the planning phase. So you're planning your movement, and turning is basically what they call wearing, where you're moving the stern of the ship and keeping the bow on the same hex. And the rules for that: you can stay in place by back sailing. If you lose your rigging and you're able to, you can row, but of course I don't think, no, you can't fire or repair things when you're rowing like mad. And some common movement exceptions. So starting in attitude D, which is in irons, you've got to move to try and get the wind moving your ship along again. You plan the repairs in the planning stage, and lightening the ship to try and get it off being run aground occurs here as well. Then we've got the movement phase, running aground, collisions, bowsprit damage, grappling or ungrappling. And then the combat phase, fields of fire. There are 3 fields of fire, understand. This is the full broadside, and this is the bow firing field of fire in the stern. How that all works with modifiers, and those are explained here. The hits, because you've got rigging, hull, or crew, and how they all work. Musket fire, if the ship has musket armed crew. Boarding, of course they're pirates. And capturing. And then the last phase is the housekeeping phase, where you can attempt to repair or refloat, reload your cannons, special ammunition, and then see if the wind changes or the wind speed changes as well, which will affect what you can do. You can see here. Crew focus means you can, once per turn, use that to do certain things, and here they are. Planning phase, you can add an additional movement point. Cannon fire, reroll 1 die, and help you with refloating or repairing and that sort of thing. And you mark that off on the ship's log. Once per turn you've used it. And then victory. Each scenario has victory conditions, and then there's this optional rule, the advanced hit table. And that is it. Then you're into the scenarios. And there are a couple of solo ones. So this is the one they suggest you try first, the tutorial mission, the merchant, the map size, and what's happening to the wind and when it changes. These are die roll numbers, I believe. But if you throw them, you have to re-roll to see if any of those change. And the 2 ships involved, the Ranger and the Sarah. How to set it up. And in this scenario, the merchant is trying to escape the pirate ship. And then we're on to the next ones, each one telling you how many players and how difficult it is and how long roughly it will take. So we've got 8 of those, I believe, each with its own victory conditions. Then after that, we have the ship's logs, which, as I said earlier, are on BGG, and each scenario has its own log sheets sorted out, showing you the scenario. So if you're playing 2-player, you would of course cut these down the middle here. So all the ships in the game are here. At the end, here we are, we have create your own scenario. So some blank ones to let you do that. Then we're into the maps. These are on BGG as well. How to assemble them. Telling you where to glue them. There we are. Don't want to cut your book? No, thank you. You can go onto Board Game Geek, and as I say, I'll leave a link for that in the description. So all the maps are there. And then the charts, which it says do not share pictures or videos online, because this is the sort of heart of the game, the actual charts, results tables and all that. So we'll have a little just quick through. You've got loads, I think 2 copies of these. There we are for each player. And there we are, that's it. That's Dreaded Flags. Naval conflict in the Age of Piracy, 1568 to 1720. Available from Amazon. And if you go to, I believe, the Royals and Rovers webpage, there are some tutorials on there, sort of walking you through it. I hope you can see from my short look through that it doesn't appear to be that complicated, but there's enough crunch in it to make it interesting. And once again, many, many thanks to Wouter for sending me this review copy. Thanks very much, sir. Well, I hope you enjoyed that and you found it interesting enough to maybe go and check it out on Amazon. If you did enjoy the video and you haven't done so already, it would be great if you would consider subscribing to the channel. Really does help. Pushing the like button, that's the thumbs up underneath the video, helps tremendously as well. And if you want to be informed of other content the channel uploads, then push the old bell. But make sure you also click on all notifications. Leave a comment. These war game books are very prevalent. We've got Mike Lambo, we've got Thomas Van Hare from Historic Wings, and now we have Votive joining the crew, no pun intended. But what do you think? Let me know, because I love to read them. Thanks as always to my subscribers. Thank you so much. And just before I go, if you wish to support the channel a little bit further, well, now you can. You could buy the channel a coffee, and a link for that will be in the description. Or if you wish, you can push the super thanks button underneath the video, and it just helps to keep the channel ticking along. So thanks. Right then, haha, me hearties, it's off for me to think about the next video, and I hope to see you for that one. But until then, as always, you take care and goodbye.